Lord has blessed us tremendously with a good working staff, but He's really blessed us with a good director. Brother B.J. Clarke, he is an encourager. He's, number one, sound in the faith, but he wants you to succeed. He wants every faculty member to succeed in doing what he's doing. And he's just behind every good work. He promotes it, and it's a joy to work with him and his good family, and we love him for the work's sake and for what he does. And he's going to speak to us on a little bit on the missions program, and I think maybe he may introduce someone here in a minute to speak about another aspect of the work that's going on as well, some of the things we're involved in. But I do want to mention this. You know, years ago when I was in China, I was in Beijing, China, and I knew that there were some brethren who were there who probably should not have been there. That is, I'm talking about Americans. But I thought, you know, it's easy to sit back and criticize what other people are doing, what is wrong. But I thought, how much better is it to do what is right? In other words, yes, let's observe not to do things that are wrong, but we know that error is spread around the world very quickly. Well, brethren, sound brethren need to be involved in carrying the gospel worldwide. We're not sound because we just believe the right thing, although that's very important and essential, but also that we've got to be doing it. We've got to be putting it into practice. And so we've started the World Missions Program in which we can train people to be involved in mission work. And eventually I'd like to see us start planting churches where the church does not exist. But at any rate, I'll get off of that and let Brother B.J. come and speak to us on what he will for whatever time that he needs. But you enjoy your meals.
I first of all want to thank Brother Bland for putting all this together. Are you encouraged today? I know I am. And if no one else came today but me and a couple of others, I still would have been encouraged. Our attendance has increased this year, and I think it will keep on doing that. In fact, I think about Foundations. When it started our first year, we had 27 young men. The next year, we were in the upper 30s. The next year after that, we were in the upper 40s, and then it bumped on up into the 70s. And then when we added the girls to the program, we ended up with a couple of years ago 227 teenagers during our week of Foundations. Last year we had 200. It's just grown, you know, every year. We've seen more and more emphasis, and we're excited about that program. But today our spotlight's on world missions, and I think this is going to grow. If you'll go home and tell folks about the encouragement you received today, I know that they will certainly benefit from it as well. And I'm thinking about people like Marlon Ratana and a group of Christians with him who are watching the live stream today. And he's been texting Brother Bland and telling him of the encouragement they're deriving from this. And we're excited about the World Missions Program that is a part of our program here. Now, we have a 2-year program that primarily our students are a part of, but I did an informational luncheon recently in the Tupelo, Mississippi area. And one of the elders that was there came up to me afterwards. He said, I just did not know about this program you all have for training missionaries. And I said, well, we're trying to get the word out to more and more places because, as you know, it's important to make sure that people that go to the mission field not only have the desire, but the knowledge. And we're trying to equip them with the necessary tools to be effective, to hit the ground running. If you look at these packets that are over in the display area, it says Memphis School of Preaching World Mission Packet. Free, take one. You can take more than one if you'd like. There's an application to become a part of the program in there, but if you're just wanting to investigate it for the sake of passing the word on, some congregations know of a missionary that wants to go to a particular place and do mission work, but he may feel ill-equipped to get the job done without some more training. This is a concentrated 1-year curriculum. It's done here on the campus at MSOP. Our students for the World Missions Program live in the same housing that the regular students in the 2-year program live in. and they're able to attend the classes tuition-free. They do have to meet the requirement of having completed a 2-year program somewhere else, either this one or another comparable program, or a college program, or perhaps life experience equaling the education that you would get. This brochure here tells all about that. But there are 4 10-week quarters and 8 weeks of campaigns. One of the things that I think is so helpful about this, there's some classes, for example, on destination research. If someone's getting ready to go to a specific place on the globe, they can investigate what is the culture there, what are the religious persuasions, what are the do's and don'ts for reaching out to people in those areas. They can actually Skype some of the native preachers or members and start doing video conversation that help them learn the language if indeed another language needs to be learned. There are all kinds of challenges a missionary family faces, and this program is designed to get students ready to go to the mission field with their families. Adam Evans was the first graduate we had from this program, and he's been an exemplary missionary in the work that he's done, and others like him are now out and about doing the work. Brother Ratana just finished the program, and he's excited. And you know, one of the things that we're trying to combine is the use of our studio with world evangelism. And Brother Dan Cates is our Dean of Communications. We have a program here that, again, some folks may not know about. We used to call it the 3rd-year program. That I got to thinking maybe someone would look at that and say, I haven't been through the first 2 years, so I guess that's not for me. But the MOST stands for Memphis School of Preaching, is the M, ongoing spiritual training. Brother Cates has agreed graciously to lead that program, and he and I have met about a curriculum that just started. I want him to come and tell you about it. He knows even more about it than do I, as far as the nuts and bolts of what's going on in the planning. And I want him to come and talk to you about that now at this point in time. And then I have just a couple other things I'd like to say. Brother Dan.
Those of you who have been at the dinners during the lectureships the last couple of years will have heard of the MOST program. Perhaps you haven't heard of it. Perhaps you are a missionary who is here with us today, or who is watching online. Perhaps you are supporting missionaries overseas. This might be a way that you can help to give specific material toward those who you're teaching, or for those that you're supporting, to be able to teach others. I won't go into great detail, but I will tell you where we stand with regard to what the long-term goal is, and maybe give you just that brief overview. The Memphis School of Preaching has long been interested in educating people beyond just the 2 years. Dad was an educator. Some of you know my dad, Curtis Cates. Dad was an educator, but he also was someone who had vision. And he could see that there were great opportunities, and opportunities require that there be somebody meeting them. And so he made sure that he prepared men to do that, not only the 2 years, but beyond in what was called the 3rd-year program. That has continued. But today, we not only offer those courses here live at the school building on Thursdays each semester, but we have offered that overseas as well. But again, not just live, but archived. In fact, if you go to MSOP, most.org, you will see archived the Gospel account of John, Bible geography, Hebrews, the Revelation 1 and 2, grammar in the Bible, Judaism and the ancients, parables and miracles, Christian evidences, the church fathers, advanced canonical studies, Gospel of John 1 and 2, Old Testament introduction, Acts, Acts 2, the Messiahship of Jesus, New Testament introduction. Those are the courses that are archived right now. Now this semester we are offering Genesis and Matthew and a general biblical introduction to the Bible. You'll notice Genesis and Matthew. What do those have in common? Well, those are the first books of the respective testaments. We are going to have, through the next 8 years, we are going to have covered every book in the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament. And we will have also covered supplementary material, such as the General Biblical Introduction, such as a study of the ancient languages, such as a study of the Intertestament period, of hermeneutics. Hermeneutics is coming up this coming year, for instance. We will have covered, in fact, next semester, I should say, the next semester is going to have hermeneutics and Exodus, and I think Leviticus is with Exodus, and the book of Acts. Those will be coming up beginning in January. But we will have covered in the next 8 years all of the Bible, Lord willing. So this gives you an opportunity, not only if you're in this area to be able to take these classes, but to be able to take them if you're in the mission field, or tell those who are in the mission field about them. Those students can gain from instructors who have spent a good bit of time in these subjects. Thank you, Brother B.J.
Someone might ask, what does that have to do with world missions? Well, of course, the internet goes worldwide, and I just met here a few weeks ago with a couple of individuals from School of Preaching overseas, and they were saying to me, they said, Brother Clarke, we would like for you to send your faculty members 3 or 4 weeks at a time to teach our students. And I told them I would love to be able to do that, but I didn't see it as a logistical possibility. I said, but come with me. And I took them back to the studio, and I said, I think it's possible for us to be recording material in the studio as well as in the most classes that we just heard about, and making those available to you and your students without anyone having to board a plane or go anywhere. And we would love to be able to provide this material for you and your students as well, and perhaps have some specifically targeted content for their students. So the technology that we possess is certainly a gift from God, and one that we're expected to use for His glory and honor. And I don't know about you, but I get online sometimes, type in a search term, and loads of denominational material populates the screen. And I'm thinking, here we have the truth, we have the tools. We just got to get more and more of the truth out there so the world can hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And we're excited about the World Missions Program and the MOST program. I do want to tell you one other thing as a preview of something to look forward to this coming year at the lectureship. We've been working on a project, and we're continuing to work on this project, and I think it's really going to be beneficial in so many ways. It was such a heartbreaking thing for us to have to say goodbye temporarily to our beloved faculty member, Brother Garland Elkins, as well as others who are esteemed like him, Brother Cates, and others who've passed on before him. Brother Elkins, certainly did so much to help the school in so many ways, and we were faced with the necessity of moving books out of his office so that our new faculty member could have a place for his work and study. And the N.B. Hardeman Library purchased the library of Brother Elkins. And when you go into that library by lectureship time, more and more of these will be available. All of the books that have a green label on them would be books that came from the personal library of Brother Elkins. And so we're honored to house his library as part of the N.B. Hardeman Library. But here's something else. I started looking at those filing cabinets loaded with material and handwritten sermon outlines, material he'd accumulated over decades of study. I started thinking, I wish we could do something with this. And then it hit me, wait a minute. We live in the digital age. If the family will permit it, we could copy the content of these folders and digitize it and put it on a flash drive so that someone could literally plug a flash drive into their computer and have the filing cabinets of Garland Elkins right at their fingertips. And that is what we're working on. And the places where I've been going and conducting these luncheons, when I mention this, there's always a lot of interest. How can I get this? The proceeds from that will go to support widows of faculty members here at the MSOP. We're trying to make sure that some of them who continue to need help and support and income have what they need, and this will be one way of helping them to carry on. And so don't know exactly yet what all is going to be on the flash drive, because we're in the process of discovering things every day. The Donahue folder alone was a fascinating thing to behold. And then there are all these charts that he had for his debate with Bob Ross. I know from debate experience, and others would tell you the same, you have more charts than you're able to get to in a debate. You want to have them on hand just in case you have time to get to them, but the ebb and flow of the debate sometimes doesn't allow you to use them all. Well, we have all of the charts that he had available to him, and those will be on the flash drive. How many of you remember the good old-fashioned bedsheet chart sermons that have been preached in gospel meetings in years gone by? We have all of those bedsheet sermons. We have pictures of all of those that will be on this flash drive. We also found a lot of audio, some reel-to-reel tapes that we're having digitized so that we can take the audio there and make that available on this flash drive. And so by the time it's all said and done, it will be a rich, rich repository. In fact, it already is. It's just going to get richer by the day as we unfold and scan new material. So, Lord willing, at lectureship time, we'll have those available, and we'll be able to then take that and spread the gospel to the masses by that means as well. It's just another way of using technology. Thank you so much again for being here today. Thank you, Brother Bland, for the outstanding job that you've done in getting this program together. I am fired up and encouraged and ready to go and help more and more folks find the gospel. Thank you for being interested in the same.
Thank you so much, Brother Clarke. I think you can see what I meant by saying the Lord has blessed us with a director that is an encourager. He has vision. And, he just thinks of a lot of good things, and I get a lot of good ideas just by hanging around him. And so that's what associate directors do. They associate with the director. And so I get a lot of good ideas from listening to him. And so we appreciate him, appreciate what he had to say about the World Missions Program as well as the MOST program. And we're all workers together in the greatest cause there is. I'm talking about all of us here. But it wouldn't be possible without what you're doing. And we just want to wish all of you Godspeed in the work that God has given us to do. And God bless you for being here. We have 2 more sessions to go.